Alright, this is a 1959 Corvette 283 Power Glide car, which is actually unusual for a 59. Most of them are 4 speeds. This car spun the number 8 rod bearing. Engine was tore down by myself. I was diagnosed as number 8 and I was correct. This has been a, what do I want to call it? An odyssey, needless to say, getting this engine back together and functional. The machine shop took forever, and I won't mention names, but I can surely tell you which one not to use. This engine had to go back. It was the wrong crankshaft. It was a cast crank. It wouldn't fit in the early blocks. It needed a forged crank. They didn't know that, even though they've been in business for years. So we had to get a different crankshaft and then have that ground down, and then the crank wouldn't spin because they didn't line hone the block. And needless to say, I found some issues with their machine work, so it's had to go back at least twice. But all that being said, a lot of work is into this. A lot of work. Not only was the engine completely rebuilt by myself, I did all the tear down assembly, everything other than the machine work. Entire front suspension was out of this car. Big cross member it bolts in. Completely rebuilt, all new bushings, and they're metal bushings. It's weird, but that was what they used at the time. All new end links, you name it. It's all been redone. So we'll fire it up here, and I'll show you how nice it runs. This is a cold start. Car has not been running. We'll just give it 2 pumps. Carbureted, obviously. Points. This is not electronic ignition. This is points. Goes to show what a well-tuned carbureted engine can start like. What was that? About 1.5 revolutions, maybe, and it's running. Again, single point system, been tuned, timed, dwell's been set, idle's really nice. Got that nice, you don't get that nice carbureted intake noise with the fuel injected engine. Again, that was a dead cold start, fired right up. Very mellow stock exhaust sound. Oil pressure is extremely good at idle. You can't see it, but it's pegged. It's at least 60 pounds on a cold start. Very high oil pressure when it's cold. I'm not complaining though. That's good. I know the tolerances were pretty tight. Probably a little tighter than what they should be, but they were within specs. They were